You're listening to Productivity Monsters in the Morning. We are the energy vault your real estate business needs to get you up and out and excited and productive for the day. We go over trending topics and things that really matter in the market of the moment. Here are your hosts, Tiffany Hampton and Brooke Silva.
Hello.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. I'm going to be good and wear my reading glasses today.
And I've hidden the dog. There
will be no barking. There will be no. I'll be able to read things and see you. It's amazing. I've worn glasses my whole life. Since I was 2 years old, I've had glasses. And I wear contacts. But because of the way my eyes are, I've tried bifocals and I've tried all kinds of things. But as now that I'm a person of a certain age and I've hit those over 40s, having to bring in the reading glasses, I've worn glasses all my life. This is the hardest thing for me to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm wearing my contacts and I can't see with my regular glasses.
I can't do this, but
yeah, Tiffany.
It's so much fun. So much fun.
But I've got nice fresh eyes this morning. And the sun is out more than it normally is, which is wonderful. Not that it's any warmer, but the sun is out. So that makes me so happy. It's amazing this time of year what a good stretch of sunshine does for everyone after all the rain and the yucky weather we've had.
Yeah, up here in Maine, the day before Thanksgiving, they're talking about it being like 50. So I will be outside. The day of Thanksgiving, nice. They're talking about it being 35. I will not be outside. All those
I will not be outside.
Turkey trotters that are trotting before their turkey. Kudos to them. That is not me.
Yeah, I got invited to do that this year. And I will sponsor you. I will cheer for you from home. But we have a lot. We cook for a lot of people on Thanksgiving. My family's always been the type of family where there was always a seat for everyone. There was always way too much food. Thanksgiving was loud and big. And it used to be at my parents' house. And then when my sister got her house, that became, and it's funny because I've always been the one to cook Thanksgiving with my dad. So I thought, this is great. My sister's going to do all the work. Nope. I go there and just do Thanksgiving instead. So,
well, we usually do Disney for Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
This year we will be home, and the kids are like, let's do Chinese food. I'm like,
I love that.
I can't say no to that.
And there was one year where the kids asked me to not go and said, can we just do something us, like our little family? And they had never asked me in all the years as older children. And I jumped on it. We went to a Brazilian restaurant. We went to the rodizio where they bring it to you. It was delicious, and not having to clean up was even better. But
on to more important things. So we are talking about our last 6 personal perspective, which is,
well, did our friends even realize what we were doing these last 6 sessions, which was actually pulling you through baby steps of 6 personal perspectives? So if you've been through the class a few times, or if you've heard these, you probably picked up on it and you were like, this is familiar.
Yes,
this is familiar. But yeah, no, we've been running you guys through the basics of 6PP. So if you would like us in New England to come out to your market center and teach the full all-day class, which is so much fun, let us know so we can come out and book that and do that so you guys can get the real event, because it is amazing. It is one of the most amazing events you can do.
You and I are doing it for the first time together in Vermont.
We are. Yeah. We are. Usually Jen and I teach it, and now it's you and I teaching this one. So I'm excited. So today is about accountability, which when I teach with Jen, I have the notes in my instructor's workbook, but she says accountability is ownership. And I love the way she puts that, because sometimes accountability, everybody's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm disciplined enough. But are you?
Yep.
Because why aren't you doing it then?
Right. And
And
just because you own it, though, I will add on, it's you own it. It's your ownership. And you can ask for support to support you in you keeping the ownership, not taking it over, but keeping the ownership.
and everybody thinks as I'm a solo agent or it's just me, I run my business. And it's like, there's so many people to help you. And right in the workbook that our agents get, there's a quote that I want to read, because accountability is actually dealing with complaining and drama. So in this quote, Steve Maraboli says this, and this is from Unapologetically, I cannot say that word, I'm not even going to try. Your complaints, your drama, your victim mentality, your whining, your blaming, and all of your excuses have never gotten you a single step closer to your goals or your dreams. Let go of that nonsense. Today is a new day. And today's affirmation kind of lines up with that in a much kinder, softer way, but it's true. So Tiffany, what's our affirmation?
I own my choices and their outcomes. Yeah. I'm dealing with this a little bit with like a family member, right? And it's very easy to fall into the justification of why it happens. And then and I read a message that this person sent me, and I wrote back 3 questions. What's your DNA in this? What actions are you going to take to make it different? And are you willing to take those actions?
Right, because if not, why are we going to sit here and complain about it?
Right.
If you're not willing to do something about something, you're not going to hit those goals. And when we look at these ownership pieces, one of the things that is in the book, it says life happens and reality shows up. We don't have perfect businesses. We don't have perfect lives. And the book really goes into, 6PP really goes into, are you in victim mode or accountability or ownership mode? And some of those things are denial. You project and blame others. You constantly fight reality, and you always have an excuse and hopes and wants. Where people who are accountable or have ownership, they're aware. They live in reality. There are no rainbow colored glasses on and they see the world in unicorn farts and sunshine. They get clear, they get energized, and they get action plans. And that is really what defines top producers most of the time from those who are living in that victim mode.
Yeah. Before we started recording, we had the conversation where leaders get in trouble with this is they forget this rule of being accountable, and then they start adapting their conversation and their training for those that are in the victim mentality, right? And when you do that, the biggest thing, and my realization is you alienate all the ones that are not in that mindset, right?
Yeah. What is it? It's like the kids, like when you let one of your kids constantly get away with something. Mm-hmm. Or even, I know my kids used to feel this. They're like, there's somebody in the class who is just the comedian. They're always acting out and the teacher just lets it go. But then I say one thing and all of a sudden I'm in the principal's office or I have to get spoken to or detention. But yet this kid is dropping swears and why can they get away with it and I can't? And that hurts relationships. I think it's the same thing. Would you allow your employees to act this way?
Right.
If you were paying someone, and you're paying yourself, to behave at a certain level and do a certain job, would you hire yourself or fire yourself today? And
and I still, to this day, I say it at least 3 times a month to somebody is, if you were your own boss today, would you fire yourself for the actions? Like when I know that I'm trailing off of the ownership and getting things done, I put that on my mirror so that in the morning, I acknowledge the fact that I am my own boss and I'm going to be looking at it. And when I end my day, and I do it where I brush my teeth, right? Mm-hmm. So I see it. So when I go to brush my teeth, I ask that question and have a hard conversation. Yeah, we're not supposed to talk to ourselves, and yet we do.
there's many voices in this head, friend. Like I would put on a different maybe I have a British accent when I'm talking to myself. Maybe I'm a cartoon character, but I do have those hard conversations with myself, but it's different. You've got to decide to stop being a victim. And then you've got to find people to help you accountable, because the biggest thing, I think people who want to change their lives and get out of this, and we've all got these people in our lives, like our negative Nellies, right? Our pessimistic people in our lives that make us not want to be in those groups or those settings. And some days it's really hard to tune those people out. But what do you say to someone who's stuck in that victim mode? Like, what's the one thing we can ask ourselves to get out of that?
Right. Well, I mean, I love the one, is it 100% true? Is what you're thinking right now 100% true?
Right. And if it is true, whose fault is it? Because we're the only humans. Like, yes, are there situations that are out of our control? 100%. But the actions that we take are the ones we are fully in control of. Right. And I think the moments of victim mentality are always going to happen. Like, especially when, how they say, like, things come in threes, whether negative or positive. They only come in threes because you're looking for three things. Right. Like, when my mom will say this, a celebrity will pass and she's like, oh, that's the second one, it comes in threes. And I'm like, stop it.
It actually comes in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10s, but you're not only paying attention to the 3. Just saying.
It is so funny to me that, and for so long, that superstition in my brain was, oh my God, things come in threes. So now I'm waiting for that third thing, whether positive or negative. And I'm like, this is not a fun place to live. This is not, but that's how she grew up. And that's what she knew. And that was the superstition that stuck with her, is that they came in threes. But when I stopped looking for the negatives in threes, what a difference,
right,
in my life. Woe is me, like Eeyore, right? Eeyore mentality.
And I battle this a little bit. My one goal for 2023 is to improve my emotional EQ, right? And things do happen.
Right.
It's what happens after that happens and how much you let it own you, right? Because nobody's ever going to go through a life where somebody doesn't do something that impacts you. It's just the way it is. Like job loss, right? Downsizing a department, and you're one of those people.
Right.
There's 2 avenues you can go in that road. You could be a victim, or you can say, well, this happened, and based on this, these are the things that I'm going to turn into my life, right?
It's so hard. That's a reality. Like, you have to acknowledge reality and find solutions. And then one of the things Gary says in so many books, like, I often put the Gary in front of me, and what would he say to me today if I actually had the conies to say these things out loud to him, which I don't. So that's how I know they are not. That's how I know I'm in victim mode, because I would never verbalize these things out loud, because I would sound like a whiny bitch. So we got to just get on with it. Things happen, get on with it. You cannot change the past, but you can learn and grow and fail forward. And I think if you find yourself in these, I think your coaching action today is one of the most incredible things you can do.
Yeah, it's partnering. Who are you going to partner with? What you start with, okay, like we've talked about this. My one thing when it comes to me personally, health-wise, is to be at my ideal weight. I have put 3 people in my world that are going to support me in keeping myself accountable. However, the ownership falls on me, because I'm the one taking the action and then giving you permission to hold me accountable by doing an activity that I said I would do with you. I also have an app, right?
Yeah.
So who are you partnering with? And I mean, this is where coaching comes into play, because coaching is really, we make coaching more words than it should be, but it really is simple. What was your goal today? Did you achieve it? What got in your way? How are you going to take action, or what are you going to do to take action to prevent that from happening? Right? Like, it's really simple.
Could you imagine if everybody queued people up to help them that way? And, you know, in the book, Mark King talks about in our 6PP course, he talks about the people he has in his accountability box. And there's a financial one, a spiritual, a physical, and a business one. But if you start with one, what would it look like if you found someone? Now, it can't be your spouse. It can't be somebody who's your BFF and it's just going to keep hugging you and being like, it's okay for you to not be okay today, but that's every day. And they're not going to hold you accountable. But what would it look like? In my tech action for you is going to be find that accountability partner. Guys, in all of our KW New England groups, there are posts that says who's looking for an accountability partner or a script partner. There's people who want to work with people they don't know because they're going to hold them accountable without emotion. Ask us if you need someone. And then put it on your calendars and decide what you're going to have them. Tiffany's questions were perfect because that could just be a text. It could be, did you hit it? Yes or no? Why didn't you or why did you? Were there any obstacles? What are your steps to make sure that does or doesn't happen tomorrow? And that can take 30 seconds. That could be a phone call. Bye. Boom.
Yeah. Well, and as the accountability partner, it's day 3 and you're getting the same excuse on why it hasn't been done. My question at that point would be, has your goal changed? Because you're not showing up like it's important anymore.
And that's so true. And, you know, we've talked about this on the One Thing class that you and I have taught, but I wasn't hitting my 66-day challenges because the goals weren't my lead domino, right? In our goals, in these accountability pieces, people make them too big. Mine was simply stopping work at a certain time to be able to do something the next morning. But it took a lot to get back to that. So as simple as my One Thing 66-day challenge was, it was really difficult. The poor coach, he broke me. I was crying in front of a group of people, like, because he did all this. Well, if you don't do this, what will happen? And, you know, like, put me in this, like, Ghosts of Christmas Past place. And I was like, I don't like this, future Brooke, if I don't do this. And it was amazing. So put your goal out there, stair step it backwards, wrap a challenge around it, and get a good accountability partner who's going to hold you accountable to the goals or be strong enough to tell you you're not hitting it. The goal's not the right one.
Right. And if you do not have an accountability partner and you would like to put one in your life, email one of us. Yeah. We will support you. We will get you a person. Keep in mind, whomever you choose as your accountability partner, make sure that they're not in the same mindset you are, because you will give yourself permission to not accomplish the goals, and they will give you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And set a deliverable that if you don't do something. So Jen was once in an accountability with one of her friends, and if she didn't do what she was supposed to do, that friend was buying a goat and dropping it off at her house, and this friend would have done it.
Oh my.
It's one of my favorite 6PP stories, and if you want the story, you have to have us teach the class, but it's a good one. But yeah, make it, if you fail, what are the consequences?
Yeah.
I would love a goat. I would never have to mow my lawn again, actually. It's not one for me then. You have to take away my Wi-Fi.
Day, right? How do you become a victim mentality if you don't do the work, right? And having that goat in your front yard, which is hysterical. Now you're a victim of the goat because you didn't do the job.
And now you look like a horrible person for getting rid of an animal too.
Do you imagine what the neighbors would have thought? I love it. All right, my friend.
All right, friends. One more day and it's Turkey Day. So we'll see you tomorrow morning, and then we won't see you again until Monday. So show notes have our books and anything we've talked about. Email us at pmintheam@kw.com if you need anything. But if we don't see you, have a fabulous holiday.
Bye, Brooke.
Later.